Hey guys, Juan and Angelica here, back for another episode, and welcome back. If you've been listening to our podcast, we really appreciate it, and we hope you'll tell your friends, and you might consider leaving us a review somewhere if you enjoy the podcast. We really would appreciate it. But what are we talking about today, Angelica?
I was going to say, if you don't enjoy the podcast, please don't leave a review.
Oh, well, I've five stars only. I've heard podcasters say that. So yeah, five stars only.
No, I mean, hit us directly if you find that maybe we should be saying, if you find issue with it, just hit us directly. All right. So in this episode, I wanted to, I'm calling this one the never ending saga of COVID.
Oh God.
Jeebus. I know. So, but here, you know what? Let me go. It is.
That's a long sigh because we're in Texas and things are getting crazy here.
They are getting crazy. So I want to talk about a little bit about COVID first, because I want to finish off a little more light.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and hit this up. So I was thinking last night, in the middle of the night, I kid you not, Juan, and I thought to myself, God, what do I really miss right now? Like it's been what? 3 months?
I can't even keep counting. I thought we said 4 months.
Has it been 4 months?
Because I remember it was like more around March, April, May, June, July, almost by Julio. It's going to be 4 months.
I don't know. I don't know.
At least 3 months. At least 3 months.
I don't know what's up and what's down and what's going on anymore. But so last night I was thinking, and I was like, there's a lot that I miss right now. There's a lot. I'm getting really nostalgic. I'm starting to get really like, no deprimida. I'm not getting depressed, but I'm getting very, and I use that word very loosely. I don't mean it like in a real sense. I mean it like in the sense that like, I'm just, I'm just things aren't the same, and I'm missing a couple of things. And so,
like what?
So some of the things that I wanted to talk to you today was, what are some of the things that you miss?
Me?
Do you want me to tell you first what I miss?
Yeah, you start.
Okay, I'll start. So I rose in the middle of the night, started writing things that I miss. So I randomly getting together with friends to go into public space, to let worries like kind of leave you for a moment, for a few hours, and then feeling like that was fun. Yeah. Man, I really needed that. There's been a lot of times where people will just randomly invite us somewhere, and then we'll just show up, and then we'll talk about nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing for a few hours, and we forget
used to do that a lot.
Life.
We used to do that a lot because we would always go
because
to
here in Houston, we're used to just kind of showing up. There's a lot of places just to show up and get together.
We would always go to a lot of networking things, and then when we were done, there were usually people there that we knew, like friends, and then we would say, "Hey, we're gonna go here. Where are you going next?" And then we would end up at a restaurant or somebody's house. And we would just hang out there for like before you know it, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and then we're like,
still
okay.
Talking.
Or like many a times we sat there until the restaurant like was like, okay, we're closing, or the bar, and we're like, but that like I miss that, but I also miss a good drink at a bar.
Good drink at a bar? What do you mean?
Like going to a bar and having a couple of drinks, and just sitting there, the ambient, the people talking, hearing other people's conversations.
Hey, that's what I just said. It's just getting together with your friends.
Well, no, I'm like saying like even if it's not with your friends, even if it's just a bar.
Oh, I see. Like just to watch people, just to people watch?
Just to people watch. Because I would like going to this place in Houston. That it was a bar every once in a while. And I would it was kind of like the cheer style, like in that show. Like it was like a bar where you just sit around the bar. And it was mostly like it was like just a bar, like where people would go after work and stuff like that. And I liked going there, and a lot of times when I would go there, it was by myself because I like to go there just to relax.
What bar is this?
The Dark Horse Tavern, and on Washington, and it's like, and I would go there and I would just sit there, but it was mostly guys that would show up, and everybody would just kind of like be shooting the shit, and everybody would like there'd be like something on the TV. But I so now that place, like we drove by it today, and I was like, oh man, I miss going to that place. But I saw they had to sign up, like I guess they're all like you can't go in like normal.
Oh yeah, you have to. Yeah. And then another thing that I very much do miss is the embrace of people. I miss hugging people. I miss seeing people in face and just talking to them face to face. I mean, yes, you know, by screen is fine, and that's great, and it's a resort. It's the last resort. But seeing people in person, and especially people that I haven't seen in a while, like I miss their faces, I miss their voices, I miss the way, you know, their little I don't know, like the little things that they do, you know what I mean?
Quirkiness.
Yeah, their quirkiness that it's expected when you're around them that they do. Whether like the way they order food, or the way they say certain things, or when you know the topic's gonna get juicy because they'll say, "Did you know? Did you hear?" And you're like, "What happened?" Right? All that like doesn't come around now, and it's not like I'm. It's not like I'm a chismosa, you know what I'm saying? But it just missed. It's missed a lot. I'm a metiche. I am.
But no, like I like okay. So like I think that when we saw our friends Brandon and Amanda, that was the first time I think that I had like hugged anybody,
embraced anybody outside
like,
of your
in
family.
a long time, and I was like, it was weird. I was like.
Hi.
First, like I was like,
hi.
I don't know. Like first, I think I forgot, and I was about to go in, and then I was like, oh wait, maybe they're not like having like physical contact, and then they came in. And I was like, okay, and I was like, okay, that was weird.
Yeah.
And then I saw Sandra the other day for the first time in like 3 months, and we were like in the same space together, and we were both like, this is weird. Like we haven't seen each other in like 3 months in person. But we see each other on Zoom all the time because we're always like on calls together. Yeah. But I was like, this is weird. Like we're just like, and we're like staying away from each other. She was like 6 feet away, and I was like 6 feet away, and I was like, this is, and like it's bizarre because we were always around each other. And she's one of the people that we would always be eating out till late, hanging out, and talking.
With her, we went to. There's been a lot of restaurants that have seen us just sit down for hours and talk. Yeah. But those moments are the moments that I do miss. Like I miss, and I was telling you the other day, I think I was saying this on the call. I was telling them that I miss like going to conferences and seeing like our random friends that like we see every now and then, right? That you see them just at conferences, or you see them because you don't live in the same state, or you don't live in the same city, but y'all all know y'all gonna go to like the same place, like within the same industry. Like I miss those people, like I said, and I am just so curious because we see them maybe on social, but we don't necessarily interact with them often. So we don't really know what's really happening, right? And it's not that I want to know, it's just that I like getting to know people like that. I like getting to people, you know, because I don't know, like I might be missing out on a best friend right now, for all I know, because I didn't. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't know. So I do miss those personal interactions. I'm so ready to start writing letters to people. I'm so ready to start pen pal like everybody.
You should do the thing where they do like the emblem, like the old style, like you like stamp it with an A for Angelica, and like.
But put it on a scroll and then stick it in a tube and send it off. But and
you can start writing like that. My dearest.
Today was a long day. The river was flowing fast. No, I don't know. But I do miss them. And like I said, I want to start seeing personal touches, and so I'm considering even writing letters to people, so like that they can see my horrible penmanship.
Well, I hadn't been like I think I remember that we had stopped going to a lot of networking events that we had like pulled back. And now I'm like, I do kind of miss going to those because it was always like, you never knew everybody who was going to be there. You never knew like who you were going to run into. Yeah. And you never like, you kind of knew what the event was about. And it was like, whether it was an influencer event or whether it was just like a mixer for something else, you never kind of knew even there was like an excitement to that, like where you were going, you would have to get dressed up. And then after a while, like, I think because we had gone to so many things that we were tired of going to networking things.
No,
so we
that's
were like,
not true.
Like
we
I
had
was
talked about
it.
Yeah, no, we had talked about it.
I was kind of tired of getting dressed up because I was like, I was as soon as I would leave somewhere, I'd be like, okay, let me take off this tie and this whatever I was wearing. And I just wanted to get comfortable.
We had actually talked about it. We had pulled back on purpose. We were reshifting, and we were refocusing, and it needed all of our time.
That seems like so long ago.
Yeah, it did. It needed our time to be able to do the things that we needed to do. Yeah. And so we couldn't take off, like a week or a couple of days to attend these conferences or even networking events. Like we needed all the nights that we had, all the days we needed our weekends and stuff like that.
But no, I mean, I still miss like the going to those things. Yeah. Like now I'm like, oh man, I wish like I wouldn't. I should have gone to more things so that I wouldn't feel like I was missing out on them now. But the other thing that I miss right now is like the freedom to travel without having to be so careful. Like,
what do you mean?
Like when we go, like because we were traveling a little bit here and there, like we'll drive around. We'll drive around like from one city to another in Texas, like small towns. And but every time I have to put gas, I have to put on a glove. I have to when I walk into the store, I'm wearing masks, and like like we are washing our hands every time we go out and we come into the car. And so it's like all these little like things, and I'm like, not that they bother me, but I'm just like I missed when we didn't have to do that.
You know, I was thinking the other day that
when we went to an Airbnb and we had to like spray like.
Oh, I did. I walked in there with an antibacterial spray, and I sure did spray all. And like it was, we were like
like anything
inhaling.
Anything you think you're gonna touch, just spray it. And we're like,
yeah, I did.
Like the toilet, like everything,
every handle, everything. I was washing things before we were using them. What was I saying? What was I gonna say right now?
I don't know.
Jesus heavens, why do I let you do this to me? You always make me forget what I'm going to say.
But it was like, those are the things that I miss. I'm like, I would like to get in the car and like take those long distances trips that we used to take, because we didn't have to really worry about like, oh, what hotel are we going to stay at? Are they going to be sanitary? What Airbnb are we going to book? Is it going to be sanitary? Is it going to be safe for us to be there? Like we didn't have to think about those things. Now we have to think about like, if we are to go on a long distance, one, is it safe? Two, like, or where are we going to stay, and is that going to be safe? Three, like, you know, like all these different factors that you have to think about. And to me, like, that's one of the biggest things that I'm missing right now, is like, I just want to like be able to go on a long trip. So
I have a question then. Speaking of COVID, how's your mental health?
My mental health?
Yeah.
I don't like.
If a friend came to you and said, "Hey, I'm checking up on you. How have you been? How have you been mentally, or how have you been like handling it?"
Like, I think I blocked it, honestly. Like,
You've blocked it?
Honestly, like, I think I blocked COVID out of my mind for the last...
Oh, you know what I was going to say right now?
What?
Before you say that, before we get into that, is that we've been lenient, because you said washing hands. We've been lenient, so every time we would, like, walk into the house, we would wash our hands. We've been lenient where we haven't washed our hands. We're just, like, dedicating our time to... And we need to get back on that. But, you know, I'm saying here on the podcast, we need to get back on not being lenient with that. We need to wash our hands while we walk in the house. Jesus heavens. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Your health, your mental health.
Oh, I forgot what I was gonna say. But my mental health, like, I don't feel like my mental health has been in a bad place, but I do feel like I'd have my days when some days I just feel like I don't know if it's I feel like claustrophobic, or I feel like
claustrophobic,
or I feel like
the space is coming in on you,
like the space is coming in on me, or like I'm just like I don't feel motivated, and I don't feel like, I just feel like there's been a few days like that, which before, when this all started, I wasn't really feeling that at all. So now
do you feel tired now?
To feel that, not necessarily tired, I just feel like there've been a few more days than I would like, that I was like, man, like I don't really feel like doing anything today, and like I don't feel motivated, and I feel kind of down. But
so you feel like you're not being motivated anymore?
Yeah.
To like finish things or do things?
No, I'll still finish things, but I'm just like, it takes me longer sometimes.
Yeah.
And not all the time, just like certain days. Like I've noticed a few days where that's happened.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, that's where the drives to me have helped. Like getting out and like...
Does it help you
going
refocus?
Far away? Yeah, like the trip to the valley to me was a big deal, because like I felt like before we went on that trip, my mind was just kind of like, I think that's probably where I was at the peak of it, where I was just kind of like, man, like...
Frustrated?
Every day I would get up and I'd be like, I'm being productive, but I just feel like I could be more productive, and like my ideas were not flowing. I wasn't getting ideas, and I wasn't like thinking of new things, and I wasn't like trying to, like, I wasn't even trying to like think about like what are the trends and this and that. I was just kind of like, let's finish what needs to be.
You were just being...
Let's do what needs to be done.
Yeah. So you were just kind of there.
Yeah. And I think getting away and like reconnecting and like this and that, it made me feel like, okay, like just gave me, I think, like a breath of fresh air in a way. Like I was like,
so where you had to sit still for a couple of hours, you couldn't do anything else but think.
Yeah. And I think it was just the simplicity of where we were.
Yeah.
And like even where we were staying, the simplicity of where we were staying, and just like, oh man, like it's just, you go back to your basics and you go back to like where everything started, and you're like, okay, you're being a little...
Yeah. You know, the thing for me...
And then I get like, okay, you need to get over yourself.
The thing for me is that I thrive on the companionship of others. And not that I take away people's energy, but I really enjoy the atmosphere of being around other people. And so, but like in terms of like my mental health, I've had a couple of people ask me, because I've been very open about my mental health in the past and how I've struggled with it. And people they ask me, and I very much appreciate it when they ask me, hey, how are you doing mentally? How have you been? How's it going for you?
Yeah.
And I very much appreciate it, and I hope I can also like lend out that also support for the people. And sometimes I ask also, like, how are you, or how have you been, or like, just, hey, how's it, just want to catch up. I'm wondering how you're doing.
Yeah, you're good about that.
Well, I'm trying to be better, because I've been very like engulfed in my own thoughts that I haven't been really asking anybody, but people have been asking me lately.
It's obvious to me, like when you're like in your own thoughts, it's obvious because you're just like,
I swear, I think you want to wring my neck. I do.
You're detached, and I'm like, okay, what's bothering you?
I don't know. So for me, one of my biggest struggles with mental health and my growth in terms of mental health is accepting. Is acceptance. It's accepting the turn of events and how they've unfolded, and accepting that it might be semi-permanent.
COVID?
Like the things that we're going through right now, like the excessiveness of social distancing to the point where they're asking us not to like see people as little as possible. I think I'm just having a hard time accepting that. The uncertainty of the timeline is giving me anxiety.
Dude, that's why I don't even pay attention, because I'm like, I don't want to hear it.
There. Yeah.
I don't want to hear it, because I'm like,
I'm sorry, I'm talking about it. Juan,
no, not like
say
that. No, not like that. But I'm saying, like, that's why I don't go on, like, when I first started, I would read more about it.
Yeah.
I would keep up with the numbers. Now, not so much. Like, if I saw a press conference, I would watch it. Now, usually I'll avoid it, because I'm like, I'll read about it later on Facebook, or I'll find about it. Somebody will tell me about it.
If something big happens, I will find out about it.
Yeah.
But I think that's it. I'm kind of angry about it. Like, I'm just like, I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated that I feel some people aren't following the rules, and that it's making this last longer, or in that I'm getting mad at the fact that this might be permanent, because there's no real timeline to any of this, and I'm just.
But that's what I think too, is like,
that's what's making me sleep during the day.
Well, that's probably was making me like avoid it, is that, but because I feel like there's no real certainty to any of it, and that's frustrating, and that's like annoying, like that we can't like maybe annoying is not the word, but it's just like it's just, I don't know, it just doesn't feel good to like think about like this is gonna go on for an indefinite amount of time.
It's not indefinite. It won't be indefinite.
It feels indefinite right now.
It does, but it's not indefinite. It's it was very scary, and it's still very scary. It was very scary at the beginning to think that the potential danger of you catching this virus that can wreak havoc on you and your health, that's still very scary. But now I'm like worried in other sentiments of it. And I don't know. So that's where I'm at with this, with like the mental health of it and stuff like that, and what I'm missing.
Well, one thing, I'm much more comfortable wearing a mask. Yeah. And doing all that stuff now. Like it's like almost become like a part of my routine already. But it's always weird when you run into somebody who's not wearing a mask, and then there's like this odd exchange, and it's like you stare each other down, and it's like
when you're not wearing a mask, you're like, yeah, I'm getting mad at people.
I'm like, wait a minute, like, are you looking at me like I'm stupid, and I'm looking at you like you're stupid?
You know what's making me mad is when people aren't wearing the mask, and then they start talking. I'm like, if you're not going to wear the mask, do not speak.
Or people get in your personal space.
Nothing.
Like, I was at a store the other day, and then the people behind me, I didn't even turn around because I didn't even know they had a mask on or not. But they were like, and you know how they have stuff in behind you in the aisles? Yeah. They were like walking all in my space, trying to look at what they have there. I'm like, I only have a deodorant. As soon as I pay, you can look at all this crap behind me. Like, why are you like standing behind me so closely? But it was annoying. I was
at Academy, and I did that.
But then since I didn't see whether they were wearing a mask, I was like, maybe they were just doing it to like mess with me because I was wearing a mask.
Oh, no.
But I was
somebody did that to me at Academy. I told you right? I was standing in the academy in line, and then somebody, like, I purposely like stay away like 4 feet, so when the line stops, I can move up a little bit, and they try to move up with me, and I did a swift like and they're like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, do not step close in my space. I get anxious. It makes me anxious to see people without mask and talking and getting really close. It makes me anxious.
But see, I can't. I don't know. I feel like weird to do that too. Like to turn around and be like, "Don't get close to me." Like I just like.
Personal space has always been an issue with me.